how people react to their feelings, both good and bad.
Knowing yourself and like how you feel and how you believe to like express your emotions.
To me, I think it's like how you feel you are in your mind and how you feel like on an everyday basis.
Mental health is like how a person's feeling in their head, and it should be looked after like physical health.
I'd say it's feeling good in your own skin, knowing yourself that you're healthy in your own mind. Everyone has it. It's a common occurrence, you can't not have it.
Hard. It's like you're judged for everything that you do, and most people are like scared to be themselves.
Everyone is actually relatively nice, you know. You make friends really quickly as you get older, and you know, you have the shopping centre, so you have activities to do and you go out with your friends and your family, and it's a good way of living.
I think it's very open, like you can talk to people if you feel the need, and there's lots of facilities too.
So I feel like there's a lot of people that you can look up to who you might not necessarily, who you shouldn't necessarily be looking up to, and that can kind of lead your mental health into down the wrong path.
Loads of youngsters in here. There's like around in like Blanchardstown itself, there's like 3 schools already, and I feel like being here, you make friends easily.
Being a student here is, for me, is like it's my safe haven. It's where I come that I'm going to be accepted no matter what.
There's so many different types of people. Like you come across, like especially in our school, you know, there's so many different people from like different backgrounds and cultures.
It's only really now in the last 5 to 10 years that we're really talking openly about mental health in general, let alone youth's mental health.
We've gone from a little bit more advanced than we'll brush that under the carpet to we have very much an open dialogue.
Well, in primary school, we didn't hear about mental health at all. It wasn't a thing back then. But now in secondary school, we're hearing a lot about it.
Now, because social media is such a big thing, it's like you're more contacting and going with your friends through social media rather than in person.
I think people are way more judgmental to about each other, because you can't really do much these days or feel good about something without somebody running you down.
Young people's mental health has gotten worse in Dublin 15, but the support groups have improved.
I think like being different impacts a lot on your mental health. Like if you're gay, or if you're not Irish, or if you like a certain type of music, or if you watch certain movies, you're like judged, and that can have a huge impact on your mental health.
People are posting pictures of their new runners or clothes that they're after getting, and you feel like you have to keep up with that as well. And then on social media, when you're posting pictures, say with makeup or something on, then when you're going out just to your friends, you're like, you feel like you have to keep up your appearance.
Being queer in secondary school can be isolating because people don't understand. People aren't exposed to it.
Being able to like talk to your parents about mental health, because sometimes you can't, because like they're kind of like, foreign parents are like kind of like one-way-minded, and like they're not as open as you are. So like it really depends.
There's a lot of stress in college. I know from my personal experience, assignments are very stressful. Then you've got the pressure of trying to figure out what you want to do after you leave.
The biggest challenge is probably speaking out or coming forward with your problem.
The lack of services, people, they're not aware of where to go in order to seek help, and they might not be aware of the different kind of the kind of spectrum of mental health.
If like I know like people think, oh, they see a photo and they be like, oh, she's not wearing branded clothes, or she's fat, or she's ugly, and then people comment this stuff, and like that's just horrible, and people see that, like that might stick with them, thinking people think I'm like ugly, people think I'm that, and they're just like, people just do that all the time, and people just think, like, I think it just gets stuck in their head sometimes.
Okay, well, they could go for a walk, or they could like listen to their favorite song, read their favorite book, watch a movie, or just sometimes people like to be alone.
You know, I have to mind myself more when I'm studying, or, you know, I have to kind of distract myself with like other activities, like after school activities, like sports or drama or what I do.
I'd advise is that like maybe they should listen to music, talk to someone, have like video chat, or meet some people, have a face-to-face conversation.
Try to get the definition of what's wrong. If you need help, try to talk with your teacher, your friend. There's plenty of people that would help you.
Just being, you know, realistic with how things are. Life isn't a fairy tale, but it shouldn't be. If that happens every day, you know, if things are really bad every day, then you should probably talk to someone. But
it's important for them to know how their child or their student or whoever, how they go about things, so how they would do things on a regular basis, because a lot of the times when we go through mental difficulties, we change how we act.
Firstly, I think they should just not compare like with their own experiences. Like everybody goes through things differently, and they shouldn't go, oh, when I was younger, you know, this is what I did.
I think that parents and teachers should get a better like knowledge of mental health.
So just be friendly, like a young person. We all just want someone that we can look up to and have a normal conversation with, and someone that we can relate to.
I think I'd want someone, just an adult that I can talk to, that they'd listen to me, and then if they could, like, help me, you know.
If you feel that a young person has a very overwhelming feeling, whether that's anger, sadness, anything like along those lines, or the in-betweens, you need to kind of talk to them about that feeling. It mightn't be in the middle of an angry outburst. Obviously that's not a good time to talk, but after a young person calms down, or they're not crying anymore and they've settled a bit, then it's our job to say, where did that feeling come from? And to break it down for them so they understand, because those feelings can frighten them, and they mightn't have the language to say, do you know what, I don't think I'm okay at the moment.
I think at the base of it, it's actually really easy. Just reach out to friends, make sure that everyone's okay, offer to go for coffee, let them know that you can lend an ear or a shoulder. Just make it aware that they can talk about these things and be open about their issues and their struggles, so it doesn't develop into something that kind of starts to impede on their day-to-day lives.
You could just talk to each other when they have problems, I suppose. Look out for each other.
Because it's good to speak up to your mates, because you can trust your mates. It's the close ones that are most important, so you should be able to do that, yeah.
I think we could reach out to each other. Say if someone's not talking, or you see them they're right down, or even just checking up on someone, just seeing if they're okay, give them a text.
Just listen to people, because like that's all people really want to be listened to. And if the problems are serious, definitely direct them towards a mental health service.
I think one of the major ones is access. So obviously Jigsaw is a free service, but obviously we only have a certain scope of what we can help with, and waiting lists for different organisations are really, really long, so that can put people back.
There needs to be a little bit more evolution to kind of move away from let's talk about mental health to let's talk about our mental health, because again, everyone has mental health. It can be good, it can be bad. We just need to catch it in time.
What's not working well, I think, is that there's still people hiding behind their doors, afraid to come out and talk.
There's still a huge stigma around mental health at the moment. Like, we're getting better at talking about it, but we definitely need to just continue the conversation and really drive it forward.
Because mental health shouldn't be something we're scared of. We should never be scared of mental health. People, like a lot of people, suffer in silence, and I think that silence needs to be broken.
More advertising, more ways to talk. There can never really be enough ways to talk, really.
If you break your arm, you're going to go see a doctor. If you have a bit of a mental break, or if you're going through a really difficult time, why shouldn't you go see supports, counsellors? You know, it doesn't make sense that we're not still doing that. I think just more conversation needs to happen around it, but the dialogue needs to be exact. We need to have the language. We need to have accessible language that people can use and just avail of the supports, essentially.